Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. After I took a look at the wonderful and addictive Exploding Fish a few months ago, I haven't made any Commodore 64 related videos since. Well, it's time to start creating them again. I will be playing more recent releases and some of the classics as well, thanks to my newly purchased C64 Mini. Early reviews for this officially licensed gadget weren't that great, but now thanks to a firmware update which allows you to easily play pretty much any game you could desire to via a USB stick, it's a nice thing to own, especially if you don't have an actual C64 lying around. Not long after purchasing my C64 Mini, I joined the Facebook group dedicated to it, and a couple of days later I saw a post on there by one Trevor Story announcing the release of his latest project, Age of Heroes, on itch.io. I went and took a gander to find out what it was all about, and I really liked what I saw. A Rastan-inspired action platformer where you take control of a tough-looking barbarian hero and navigate your way through many different levels, all the while boshing beasties with your broadsword or later on a battle axe. The graphics look really nice with well-designed and detailed sprites, interesting and varied backgrounds, and nice smooth scrolling. They are backed up with some atmospheric music which really helps set the scene and give you the sense that you are truly setting off on an epic quest to defend the land from evil forces. So after a few minutes of viewing a video of the game in motion on the game's shop page, and after noticing that it would only cost a handful of dollars to try it out for myself, I decided to take the plunge and download it. After bunging it on my USB stick with all the other C64 disc images, I rushed over to my C64 Mini, eagerly plugged the stick in and fired it up. Before too long I had Age of Heroes booted up and ready to go. It didn't take very long to realise that the controls were nice and responsive, and that the difficulty curve was pitched just about right. All too often, older C64 games are either really obtuse and hard to work out, without the instructions or a guide to watch, are bastard hard, or are glitchy and unresponsive. Age of Heroes is the exact opposite of all of those. You can pick it up and instinctively know what you're doing within seconds. The game eases you in gently and also features a level up mechanic so that you can grind away on monsters if you are feeling underpowered, and it is very well made. Your barbarian jumps when you want him to and strikes out with the press of a button pretty much instantaneously. It did take a couple of attempts to figure out how to beat the first boss I came across. Bashing away at him directly had little effect and I soon died rather confused. The second time around I realised that I had to strike at the energy he was shooting at me and direct it back at him. With a bit of effort and precise timing I eventually beat him, earning a jewel that I would need to proceed further in the game. While there is an overworld map and you can choose from 3 or 4 different levels at any one time, there is a certain order in which to tackle them that is most efficient. You'll want to take the path that leads to the axe, as it does a lot more damage than the puny sword you start with. Then you will want the gem to open the door to the next set of levels, and so on. There doesn't appear to be any saving built in the game itself, which is a bit of a shame, but you can easily create a save state using the Mini so you can carry on later. I tried to be sensible about my use of save states. I only let myself use one on completion of a level or after a level up. There are quite a few levels on the world map, I would say 15 or so. That's probably about 3 or 4 hours worth of gameplay I would say, which is fair for the asking price. After you beat the game once, you will then unlock challenge mode, where everything is harder and there is no longer a world map. It's more like an arcade game where you go through each level in sequence. Trevor Story and his colleagues Akim Volkers and Saul Cross are quite prolific, putting out new games on a regular basis, and I don't always enjoy them. Their dungeon crawler, Argus for example, was a bit convoluted and easy to get lost, as the many tunnels all looked similar. With Age of Heroes though, they are onto a winner. Even though their games are not always my cup of tea, I will follow them as I am always interested in seeing what they will produce next. It's great that there are still people dedicated to making quality new games for the trusty old C64. I would definitely recommend that you download a copy of Age of Heroes and give it a go yourself, or if you were feeling flash you could buy the lovely physical collector's edition. Act fast though, because there will only be 50 of those produced. Overall, I would give Age of Heroes a solid 9 out of 10.